welcome to episode 2 of Stitched in Hand. I am Janet and I don't even know where to begin. I am just so blown away and overwhelmed in the best way possible of the welcome I have received from this community, all of the views and the likes and the subscribers and the comments. It's so much more than what I was ever expecting. So thank you so much. And I have read every single comment. I promise you I am working on replying to them all. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. I am leaving for Sicily in 3 days. So there's been a lot of packing, making sure things are prepared for me to leave. I'm going by myself, no husband, no kids, no friends. I signed up for this tour. I've always wanted to go to Sicily. I think with COVID and I've turned 45 and I've just decided I want to get out there and I want to see things before it's too late. So I'm going by myself, and you would think that a 49-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 15-year-old would be able to survive on their own, but I have my doubts, so I am trying to prepare them as much as I'm trying to prepare myself to leave. And then I did sneak away with a couple girlfriends for a weekend up in Maine. I have a friend who has a house up there on the coast, so we went up there for a short weekend, nice little getaway. So I've been trying to reply to comments the best I can between work and getting everything else ready, so please be patient with me. But I did want to quickly record before I left, and just I feel like I've been working up a storm. Some things I've gotten further along than others, but I thought I'd come here and share that with you. And I think I'm going to start with a couple previous finishes that I have for Halloween, because Halloween was just a few days ago. And I'll start with this. This piece is the first cross stitch piece I have ever finished. Not the first one I started, but the first one I finished. And this here is Ye Old Crow by Heart and Hand, stitched with the Call for Floss. It is on a picture this plus, and I don't remember right now the name of the fabric, but I will put it below in the description. But I finished this on a little wooden pumpkin I had gotten from Michael's, and then there's a little burlap bow with some lace and this flower from this like 20-year-old flower arrangement I had. I just kind of hot glued it there, and I love this. I love this piece. You feel this big sense of accomplishment when you finish something, and this being my first finish, I think it has a soft place in my heart. The second one I wanted to share, I finished this one about a week after Halloween last year, and this is October 31st by Blackbird Designs. This is in the Autumn's Wind booklet, and it's finished as a drum. I'm a little intimidated by drums. I just did one a couple months ago for the first time. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed making it and I love the looks of drums, so maybe more will be in my future, but I decided just to frame this one. This I stitched on 32 count Plateau by Zweigart with Gentle Arts Carriage black, which is my favorite black to stitch with. I don't know what it is. There's tones of tan with the black. I love it. But I finished it, and then I had bought a frame from, I think it's the Rusty Roof on Etsy, and finished this in a frame, and it's so nice to have this one out this year. I've really enjoyed looking at it. I have this one and the next one I'm going to show you on either side of the TV. I think I spend more time looking at these than I do the TV. And the last one I'm going to share with you was one of my first starts that I had. Oh, you can see the back of it. I finished it with just some tape. I'm not great at framing. I'm still learning, but I just have some scrapbook paper there. But this one I started when I first started stitching. Here we go. And this is the Witch's House, and this is by Blackwood and Briar. And this was stitched on 30 count Mariner's Map by Legacy Linen with basically all of the called for flosses. The only floss I changed was the floss for the house. I couldn't get the called for floss on it. So what I did was I bought a DMC, one of their variations. I don't know if there was a specific name, but it had a lot of white to it. So I took some gray Rit dye and dyed over it. So I got the exact color I wanted for this. And this is one of my favorite stitches I have ever done. So this is of the Witch House in Salem. We go to Salem multiple times a year. My brother used to live there. We love it there. The history, and I'm blanking on the name. So this is the Witch House. It is the only structure still standing in Salem itself that is associated with the witch trials. And it was owned by a judge, and I'm very disappointed in myself for not remembering the name of the judge. I should know this. I am addicted to history and historical documentaries, and I've done historical walks of Salem. So the other two houses that I know of that are still standing that are associated with the witch trial is the Rebecca Nurse house, and that is in, I believe it's Danvers. And then there's the John Proctor house, which is in Peabody. And I'd like to go, Rebecca Nurse, you can go and visit. The John Proctor house was owned privately. I know they're doing a lot of work on it, so I don't think you can visit the John Proctor house, but I'd love to go visit Rebecca Nurse's house. And have I mentioned I'm a history geek, and I am probably boring all of you to death, so I will stop. But I think because of my love for history and Salem, I'm in love with this. This may stay up all year after Christmas, we'll see. Oh, and I should mention the frame I did get from Art and Frame. Here we go. And it's with museum glass. You can kind of see the light reflecting off of it. But they're really great. I've ordered quite a few frames from them because they do custom sizes. And even though they're made to order, I find I get it within a few days. They're really good at getting that done quickly and shipped out. So that's what I wanted to share for my previous finishes. And then I have one start and a finish, and this one is by Little House Needleworks. This is Seven Pines. This was a freebie on her blog, and I'll put the link to it below. So I took this with me when I went to Maine, and here is my finish, and I'm going to make it into a pillow. I haven't had a chance yet. I did think none of the call for colors, but here are the colors I'll use, and like my previous video, I'll have them all listed below, but I kind of took scraps of what I had left over from other projects and just use that in this one. And this again is on 32 count Plateau linen by Zweigart. I love that linen. I'm only able to find it in one place, and that is cross stitching supplies. Unfortunately, it only seems to be in 32 count. You cannot get it in I haven't. If anyone finds it in 36 count, please let me know, because I've only been able to find it in 32 count. And I do love the color, and I think it would be great for a sampler. So, and this was just on a scrap that I had. So that was my one finish, and it was a start as well. I have couple other starts and a couple works in progresses. So I think I'm going to go with my starts. And my first start should have it done, but I got sidetracked with a couple other things. But I started, this is the Hoopla Christmas. It's tough to say with a Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Bronx accent, but this is by Brenda Gervais. And here is what I have so far. And he is so fun to stitch. I do have to say, so the brim of his hat is satin stitches. So I did the hat, then I did the satin stitches, and then I started his head. And it took me forever to line up the stitches where the satin stitches were. I had a hard time trying to figure out where to start his head. But I finally got it figured out. And if it is not correct, no one's going to notice, hopefully. But in this is, again, I am using colors and scraps that I had from previous projects. So it's none of the called for on this. I'm just using up what I have, but I'm really enjoying this. I have his body left. There's some snowflakes. I'm trying to decide if I want to put the snowflakes in or if I just want to leave him as is. I'm just going to make him another little pillow to put in the dough bowl for Christmas time. So maybe I'll sit down after this and finish that up. So that is my first start. And then I did have a second start. So I never travel. I never go anywhere. Honestly, I'm an introvert and a homebody, but when I thought COVID was ending last September, I was going to go visit a friend in Georgia, my friend that quilts, and booked the plane ticket and everything, and then COVID started spiking really bad down in Atlanta, and I decided not to go. So my younger son and myself have not had COVID. My older son has had it once. My husband has had it twice. I don't know. We don't have a big house. We have a 1,200 square foot house. How my younger son and I have avoided it so far, I have no idea. My younger son, all of my grays are from my younger son. I love him to pieces, and life would be so boring without him, but sometimes I wonder where I got him from. He says he hasn't gotten COVID yet because he's built up his immunity by eating candy off the movie theater floor. And I want to say, this is not like a 3-year-old picking up candy and you're trying to wrestle the candy out of the 3-year-old's hand. This is like my 11-year-old dropping candy on the movie theater floor and picking it back up and eating it. I'm all for the 5-second rule, but not on a movie theater floor. But then again, maybe he has built up his immunity because he barely ever gets sick. And he hasn't gotten COVID yet. But anyways, I've just made this short story long. I had to rebook my flight within a year with JetBlue, or else I was going to lose all my money. They don't refund you because of COVID. So I'm going the first week of December to go visit my friend in Atlanta. So I decided I was going to stitch her something. So I have picked, this is the Friendship Sampler by Plum Street Sampler. And I picked it because it has a lot of the stars, the quilty stars in it, and again, she is a quilter, and we both, I think quilting stars are our favorite things to sew. So I picked this up, and on it, it does say, I'm going to try and read this. No, I'm going to read it this way. It says, "True friendship is a plant of slow growth," and it's a quote from George Washington. And it has the initial P, so I'll put her name as Sarah, and so I'll put an S there. I'm thinking there's some room above the lady in the little star sun, so I may put my initial there. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to, because it's 1783, it's a George Washington quote, so I'm assuming that's where that date comes from. but we met when I started working at my current employer. She was my mentor, and we just have so much in common. We became fast friends. So I'm thinking we met in 2002. So I'm thinking of putting 2002 in there for the year that we first met. So of course, it's a good thing I work under pressure and stress, because I have a time limit on this one to get this done. But here is what I have so far. And again, I am stitching this on Plateau 32 count Zweigart. And I don't know how well you can see, but the house of the variegation in it, I love it. It's pomegranate by, I don't think I have the threads in front of me. I'm using, I think it's all Gentle Arts. I did have to switch out the turquoise blue as well as the black. It called for a dark brown and I couldn't find that floss anywhere, so I just ended up picking out a black that I had. I think Onyx by Weeks Dye Works is what I'm using. So I have, in the grass area, I think I have all of the stars done. I have 3 little dogs to do, and then I can do all the fill in there. And this is going right along. So on Halloween, we watched Nightmare Before Christmas. My boys were like, it's Halloween, do you guys want to watch a scary movie? Not that I watch the scary movies, I would have probably just gone to bed. My kids, my 2 boys picked Nightmare on Christmas, Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, whatever that Tim Burton movie is. So we stayed up and I did some of the grass while watching. I worked on this while watching that. So those are my 2 starts. I did make very small progress on my two of my works in progress that I had shown last time. So the first one I'll share is, this is the Birds of the Feather Bitter Flower Sampler. And I've made more progress on the flower. So I have changed all of the colors in this. I'm stitching this on 36 count Zweigart in, it's not raw, Flax. In Flax. So I've made some progress on the flower, and yeah, that's about it. Still haven't touched any more of the border. I figured I'd want to get the flower done first, and then I'll work on some more of the letters in the border. And again, these are all my own colors, completely different, because I wanted blue because my house has a lot of blue in it. So I kind of picked from my stash and I am going from there. So that's my progress on that one. And then my last one, sorry, I realized I don't have the pattern. Oh, here it is. It's right here. I tried to put everything out in front of me so everything would be easy and right at hand, and like my typical fashion, I have forgotten something. So this right here is winter. The winter is past, and I am using the all the called for colors and the called for flosses. So I have, as of last time, finished up that border. I started on the inner border, which is little zigzags with the gold, and I have started on some of the letters. So that is the progress I have made on this one, and I do love this one. I love the colors, and I want it done, and I want it up on my wall. Yeah, I want it done, and I want it up on my wall as soon as possible. So I think once I finish that cross stitch for my friend Sarah, I'm really going to focus on this one. So I realized, as I was saying, how I really want to focus and work on the winter is past once I'm finished the friendship sampler. I'm looking at everything I bought over the last few weeks going, oh, but I really want to start that one. Oh, I want to start that one too. So we'll see. I could have, in the next 2 weeks, even being gone for a week, 20 new starts and nothing else. We'll see what the next few weeks brings. But the first things I want to show you that I have purchased, I put in an order with Treehouse Fiber Arts. Rachel and Sue do the floss toss, the floss tube, and anyway, she sells some patterns and some floss packs, so I picked up this one. So this is, I'm trying to, Joy Noel, and this is by Artful Offering. And again, like I said, it came with all the floss. It called for 28 count Platinum Zweigart. I have a 32 count, so that is what I'm going to use. The only thing is, and I know it came with all the red, but I'm trying to decide if I want to switch this to blue. So I have, it's that French country green sack ticking a fabric, and I do at Christmas time, and I picked up more to show you. This is grain sack ribbon. I have some that hangs from my hutch all year round, and then I have a couple other ribbons that I use at Christmas time to decorate with, and then I picked up more. This one's a little bit different than my previous ones, but so I can't decide if I want to switch this out to blue. I may take this or a piece of this to Michael's and see if I can match it with the proper blue. But I do love this. This is just the rustic French country style that I absolutely love. So we'll see how long I can hold off on starting that one, because I've got everything there. And then the second thing I ordered was, again, Artful Offering, and this is the Cranberry House. There we go. And it came with all of the flosses, and it called for, I think it was 36 count Winter's Brew by R&R, and I had some 32, and it is enough to do this. Is enough to do this. I just have to figure out if I need extra floss or not, or I might do it 1/2 on the 32 count to give it more of that primitive look. So I love these trees too, with the white and the green and the wreaths. I just, yeah. Anyways, it won't be done this Christmas, but maybe I'll get going and I'll start it for other Christmases. Then I had, so with the Friendship Sampler, I had ordered all of that from 123 Stitch, and then I felt like I needed to order a few more pieces of linen. So the first one I ordered, this is by Color and Cotton in Boardwalk, and the other one that I ordered was Legacy Linen, and this is Russian Tea Cake. Yes, Russian Tea Cake. I don't have my readers on. It's a struggle seeing those letters. So I ordered those 2 pieces of linen. I thought this would be perfect because I just got in the book Home for the Holidays, which has Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. This unfortunately is not big enough for that, but it is. So I was flipping through here, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody stitch this, but Blessings Be Thine. I really, really like this one. So I'm thinking I might stitch it up on that because I have enough of this for this one. So I don't know, what do you think? I love that. I even just like that, the wreath with the Blessing Be Thine in it, and maybe skipping everything else. I don't know. So I did 2 with the stockings for this one. I'm going to do the stockings in blue. So I've ordered some DMC from Michael's. So I think I'm going to do some of the stockings in this book. I want to do everything here. I do love also this one here, which is 'Tis the Season, but then it has it in French, and I'm not gonna say it because I'll butcher it. But I like that one too. I just want to stitch all the things. We just don't have, life is too short and we do not have enough time. And then the last thing I purchased was this chart, and I'm trying to, there we go. This is Pomegranate Manor by, I don't know, Samplers Not Forgotten. I love a good house. I absolutely love stitching houses. And this one isn't too big. I don't know, I don't think I would do it, I don't think I would do it on the called for fabric. I think it's Havana. Yep, Havana by Weeks Dye Work. I think I would pick a lighter color for it, but I love that one as well. So those are, that's everything I've spent my money on for the past few weeks. So a couple people asked me about my knitting. I have to say, cross-stitching has kind of taken over my life, but I am working on a couple, well, I'm working on one knitting project, so I thought I'd share for those who are interested. So, and it's unfortunately, it's a very boring knit. It is more not because I'm enjoying necessarily knitting it, except for that I want the actual project. So I'll put a picture up here somewhere of what it'll look like. It's the European road trip shawl, and it's a free pattern by Espace Tricot, which is a knitting shop in Montreal, Canada. So here is, it's big and I don't necessarily want to cover my face in, but here it is so far. So it starts with where you're increasing, so it's at an angle, then you have a rectangle going through, and then I'm started the decreasing now on this side, and drop the yarn. Hold on, I'm sorry. All right. So the yarn I'm using, it's Holsgarn. It is a yarn from Denmark. It's the one I'm using, it's the Tidal base, which is a wool and silk base, and it is in the color Seagull. I wanted just a basic silvery gray. It'll go with everything. So I'm hoping to have it done by tomorrow at the latest. So with knitting projects, you do block it. So you soak it in water, and then you have to let it air dry, and it kind of, all the stitches relax and it blooms. I did, because I've never worked with this yarn before, so I wanted to see how it worked, and I don't know how well you can tell. I put down, I soak the tip just to see, and it is so much, I wish you could feel it. It's so much softer here. Not that this isn't soft, but it does get a lot softer once you soak it. So hopefully I'll have it done tomorrow. I can soak it and it'll be dry by Saturday when I leave. And that's the only knitting project I'm working on right now. But then I thought I'd share with you, I am bringing some yarn to work on some socks. I can knit basic socks without looking at them. So I can socialize and talk to somebody and knit and keep eye contact with that person. So I wanted that. I'm the type of person, my hands always have to be busy, and I think I focus better for whatever reason when my hands are busy. I'm just strange. Anyone else like that? But I'm working with, so I picked up some yarn from a local yarn shop by me in Northborough called Craftworks, and they had this independent dyer there. Her name's Melanie Stash, and I picked up the color Dragon Breath, and then she also had this yellow color, a small skein of this yellow, which I thought would be good toes and cuffs. And what I do is I knit my socks. So I have 2 equal small balls and then I have 2 larger, well they call them cakes, 2 larger cakes of yarn. So what I'll do is, I'm always afraid of, they call it second sock syndrome, where you don't finish the second sock after you've finished the first. So I knit them at the same time on 2 different needles. So I'll do cuffs on one, cuffs on the other, leg on one, leg on the other, and so forth, so that by the time I'm done, I have the 2 socks and I don't have to worry about finishing one and then having to cast on the other. So I have all that set aside, and that's it. Like I said, I haven't been doing, cross stitching has taken over and I just enjoy it. I do enjoy knitting too, but just I go back and forth. In quilting, I haven't sat in front of my sewing machine in weeks. I feel like I've just been so busy with everything else. I haven't had a chance to just sit down. Work's been crazy as well. So that's basically it for all my crafty endeavors. I figured I'd go quickly grab a Lego. I find it funny from Halloween. I hope you guys get a chuckle out of it, but I do have kind of a funny story for you about Lego on Halloween, and I will be right back. All right, so here's Lego. So, and I don't think I mentioned last time, but Lego, he is my little 8-year-old. He's a little old man. He, anyway, so on Halloween, so my younger son, the one that eats his food off the movie theater floor, he has a uniform that he wears basically every day. He wears, there you go, I'll put you down. You're a good boy. He wears a red Under Armour sweatshirt and black sweatpants every day. He has 5 of them in his drawers. Part of me thinks it's smart, you know, he never has to think of what am I going to wear today. He knows. He gets ready really quickly. So anyways, for Halloween, he decided to dress up as his best friend, who wears plaid shirts and jeans, and he wears this Celtics winter hat with a pom-pom on it. Well, Lego did not recognize him at all and was barking at him, and I thought, we have little foxes that play in the front yard and Lego will bark at them. So I'm thinking the foxes are out. I come running. Nope, Lego sitting in the middle of the living room floor barking at Ryan because he had no idea who he was. Oh, he's staring at me. You're a good boy. But so that was kind of, I got a good chuckle out of it. I wish I had my camera just to take a video of it. But anyways, I also wanted, a couple people mentioned they noticed my cribbage board that is over my shoulder. So we love playing cribbage. It is a 3-person board and it has the Boston Harbor in the center. So we're very competitive. And a lot of Saturday nights we'll just do cheese. My husband and I will have some wine and we just play cribbage. And for those who aren't familiar, because cribbage, I know it's definitely a New England thing. I think there's some Midwest states that play it as well, but it is a card game. Yeah, and we have a lot of fun playing games, and my kids are very competitive. Again, Ryan, and my mother will play Sorry. My mother's very competitive. Anyways, they play Sorry and I am shocked that blood has not been drawn yet. I am just waiting for the day someone goes to the hospital over a game of Sorry. But we have a good time. We play a lot of board games and card games with the kids. We play Pitch a lot, which is another card game, and yeah, so those that were asking, that's what it is. And then I also wanted to just quickly thank somebody. So the cross stitch project that I'm taking to Sicily with me, someone mentioned doing sulky instead of DMC or the silk, because it's 1 strand and it's as thick as 2 strands of the DMC. So I did do some testing with it. I did get some sulky and tested. So thank you so much for your suggestion, because that is what I'm going to be doing. And I think that's about it. I think I'm going to wrap this up, get this downloaded onto my computer and edited, and hopefully have this up in the morning for you. And again, just a thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting and just welcoming me to Flosstube. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.